Okay, so welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. We got some really interesting stuff to cover today.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys sent in some really great articles about crypto. So we're going to be talking about, uh, Bitcoin's price action lately. It's been pretty wild.
It has.
And then also Coinbase's expansion into India,
Yeah,
which is a huge deal.
absolutely.
And then, of course, the whole regulatory scene in the U.S., which seems to be kind of changing. And
It
some
is.
pretty big comments by the Binance CEO about
Yeah, Richard Tang.
yeah, Richard Tang,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
About the U.S. maybe setting a precedent for other countries. But let's just jump right in because Bitcoin this week, man, oh man,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was below 77,000 and then all of a sudden,
Back up to 80.
yeah, up to 80, just like that. I mean, it's so volatile.
It really is. And that's, I think, one of the most fascinating things about it is that it's like this real-time indicator
Yeah,
of global sentiment, really. You
absolutely.
can
Okay.
kind of see what people are thinking and feeling just by watching the price of Bitcoin fluctuate.
Yeah. What do you think caused this specific, dip and then recovery?
Well, I mean, our sources were mentioning all this stuff about regulatory pressures
Hmm.
and macroeconomic uncertainty. It's just kind of this perfect storm.
Right.
You've got concerns about inflation still.
Yeah.
People are worried about interest rates going up potentially.
Hmm.
And so all of that just kind of creates this nervousness. And
Right, and that spills over into,
exactly, it's not just crypto, it affects everything.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was surprised to see Bitcoin bounce back to 80,000 so fast.
Yeah, that's the thing about Bitcoin though.
Oh,
It gets knocked down,
resilient.
but it gets back up.
Yeah.
It's resilient. But I think the big level to watch right now is 75,000.
Okay.
If we start dipping below that and really struggle to get back above it,
Yeah.
that might be a signal that, sentiment is really shifting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I was also reading about this crypto fear and greed index. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah, I love that index.
It went from greed to neutral this week.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Yeah, so the fear and greed index, it's basically just like a quick
Wow.
snapshot of how the crypto market is feeling at
That's
any given moment. And they look at a bunch of different factors like price volatility,
correct.
trading volume,
Hmm.
social media trends, what people are talking about.
Wow.
They even look at Google search data.
Really?
It's pretty comprehensive.
Interesting.
And so a score closer to 100 means everybody's super greedy.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
FOMOing into everything.
Right.
And then a score closer to 0 means everybody's freaking out. They're hiding under their desks.
So neutral is kind of in the middle?
Yeah, neutral's like, yeah, we're just kind of chilling.
Okay.
We're a little cautious.
Makes sense. Okay, so while Bitcoin's doing its thing, Coinbase is making this huge move into India.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think is driving this? Why is India suddenly so important in the crypto world?
I mean, it's a massive market, first of all.
Yeah.
We're talking about over 1 billion people.
Right. A lot of people.
And, a lot of them are young. They're tech savvy.
Mm-hmm.
They're already used to using digital payments
Right.
and online transactions. And,
So it's not a big leap.
it's not a big leap to
Yeah.
start using crypto. And then on top of that, there's this growing awareness of digital assets as a potential,
Yeah.
hedge against inflation,
Okay.
which is a big deal in a country like India,
Yeah.
where they've had,
Yeah.
pretty high inflation in the past.
Right.
So it's kind of like the perfect storm. You've got
Yeah.
this huge population that's comfortable with technology.
Right.
And then you've got this economic backdrop where people are looking for
Right.
ways to protect their wealth.
And Coinbase isn't just dipping their toes in the water. They're fully committed.
Yeah.
They registered with India's Financial Intelligence Unit, or FIU.
It's a big step. Yeah.
It seems like a pretty serious move.
It is. It's definitely a sign that they're,
Mhm.
putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
They believe in the Indian market and they're willing to,
Yeah.
navigate the regulatory landscape,
Right.
which is still, it's still evolving.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of debate about how
Yeah, for sure.
crypto is going to be regulated in India,
Right.
but Coinbase's move suggests that they're confident.
Yeah, that they can figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to the existing players in India,
Yeah,
because there are already some pretty big crypto companies there.
there are.
So it'll be interesting to see how they all compete.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for market share, for sure.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the U.S., because there's been some interesting developments there too. The Binance CEO, Richard Tang, had some pretty strong words about President Trump and his stance on crypto.
Yeah, he did.
Do you think this like pro-crypto approach from the US could actually influence other countries?
I think it absolutely could because the US has always been kind of a leader
Mm-hmm.
in the crypto space.
Right.
When they make a move regulatory-wise, other countries tend to pay attention,
Okay.
especially countries that are still developing their own crypto frameworks.
Right.
They often look to the U.S. for guidance.
Interesting.
So if the U.S. comes out and says, we're pro-crypto, we're going to create a clear
Yeah.
and friendly regulatory environment,
Right.
I think that could definitely encourage other nations to follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big shift from the previous administration with their whole
Huge.
Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Oh, yeah. Totally different approach.
It seems like we're moving toward like a more open dialogue,
For sure.
which is a good thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And speaking of dialogue, the White House actually held its first ever crypto summit recently.
I know that was really cool.
What'd you make of that?
I think it was a really big deal because for the first time, you had all these key players
Yeah.
from the crypto industry and from the government
Right.
sitting down together in a formal setting
Mhm.
and actually talking about the future of crypto.
Interesting.
I don't think any concrete policies came out of the summit,
Right.
but just the fact that it happened
Yeah.
is a huge win for the crypto community.
Yeah.
It shows that the government is taking crypto seriously
Okay.
and they're willing to engage in a more
Yeah.
collaborative approach to regulation.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of people in the crypto space have been asking for.
Exactly.
So it seems like things are moving in the right direction.
I think so.
Okay, so just to kind of sum things up, we talked about Bitcoin being volatile,
As always.
but also resilient.
Uh-huh.
We talked about India's potential to become this major player
Yeah. Huge potential.
in the crypto world.
Hmm.
And then we talked about the U.S. and how they're
Yeah.
seemingly embracing this more collaborative approach to regulation. So where do we go from here? Like, what's the big question that we should all be thinking about?
Well, I think the big question is, will other countries follow the U.S.'s lead
Okay.
when it comes to crypto regulations?
Mm.
And if they do, what impact is that going to have on global crypto adoption?
Right. Is it going to accelerate it? Is it going to slow it down?
Exactly.
So many questions.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be watching the space.
It really is. I mean, things are changing so fast. It's hard to keep up, but
That's why we're here.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep sending us your articles. Keep those questions coming. And we'll keep doing these deep dives.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.